Alright, what's up? Hello, everyone. It's me, Wallaber. Good evening. We're back to working on stuff. Regular style stream. This is the first dev stream I've done since the release of Pro Gymnast, which came out on Friday, last Friday. So it's been out for 4 or 5 days now, something like that. And so far it's been fantastic. Super happy with the release. Been seeing a handful of people playing it on Twitch, which is super exciting, including some streamers with really big followings. So that's really exciting. And happy to see the game being played by people all over the world as well. So on YouTube, I saw a handful of Japanese VTubers playing the game, and as well as streamers from different languages here on Twitch as well. So I'm really happy. And one thing I've noticed though is a few things that I need to fix in the game. So I've been working on sort of the first patch to the game, which is going to be version 1.0.3. So this is just a small update. It's nothing major. It's mostly just trying to fix and address issues, which I already did some. And I can go over those a little bit, but then I want to get right into a few things that I want to fix. And one of the big ones is one of the tutorials in the game is just a little bit clunky. And I think the majority of the problems with it are related to the thresholds I've set, but let's go look at it in context and let's figure this out. I also may want to swap a few levels around. Because I'm noticing after watching a lot of people all of a sudden, and most streams, right, are people sort of starting from the beginning of the game and just playing through it, is that like the tutorials are working pretty well overall. Let me start by saying they're working pretty well overall. This is a hard game, and overall I'm quite happy with how well people are learning how to play it as a result of the tutorial. So I mean, overall I'm happy with it. But there's a couple things that are kind of clunky about it. So if we go and look at it, first thing we do is we teach you how to release. Then there's a couple levels where you can get by with just releasing. I'm pretty happy with these overall. We teach you how to slow down time, and we give you one level that's like, yeah, you should probably use the slow down time in order to, in order to complete it. Up to here, pretty good. Then we teach you how to point your arms and point your legs. These are working fairly well. And then we give you this first level. Now, one thing that's distracting about this level is that the chalk is hard to get, and so most players maybe spend a little time distracted here, but I'm okay with that because that's their choice to do that. So that's not a bad thing necessarily. And then we teach you how to swing, and then we do this one, and then we do this one, and we do this one. We have all three of these here. Then we teach you another way to swing, and then this level here is not really a good reinforcer of the swing training. So I probably want to move this one up and put one of these after this. Then this is the troublesome one, which we're going to look at now. And then you're in pretty good shape. This one even, I don't know how important it is to... No, I like it where it is. It's okay. But this is the troublesome tutorial. So right here, this one is teaching you about how you can grab onto your legs. And so this one, right, if you just press exactly right and left, it doesn't quite work. You have to kind of get it to grab. And then the other thing that happens here, though, let's retry this. The other thing that happens here, so what will happen is the player will go like this, and then they just like throw this stick down and grab their legs and go, what's the matter? I'm matching it. And you know, it looks like this picture on the right. But you can see there's like 4 joints there where the angles are sort of not what it's expecting. And oh, dang! We got a Matsi raid happening. Hello, Matsi, what's up? Thanks for dropping by, man. How did the rest of your stream go? I'm still, I gotta tell you, I hope I can tell you with voice now as opposed to just chat, but like, your game is looking amazing and the progress is super impressive. And I know you're kind of downplaying it saying like, oh, I followed a tutorial or whatever, but like, dude, really, really, really cool. And I'm happy to see that you, you know, some of your reservations, you know, you kind of, I don't know, came out the other side going, that maybe, I think you'll feel more comfortable now trying any tool you want, right, to make a game, including whether you stick with Unity or not. It doesn't really matter, but that's really cool. And yeah, I'm really happy to see that. Not that it matters if you use one tool or another, really, but that's just really cool. And I'm amazed with the progress. So, congrats, man. Did you get your menu working? Yeah. My thing, you know, with regards to whether or not coding live makes good content is, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, I'm gonna do this coding anyway. And streaming it turns it into a slightly communal thing. I've met lots of cool people, like yourself included, as a result of streaming it. So I like that about it, you know. I don't really have a lot of time to produce other streaming content, so this is gonna be what it is, you know. I figure I'll just try and figure out a way to make Dev as exciting as possible. Well, yeah, you gotta spend some time off stream as well. There's some things I choose not even to do on stream just because they seem extra not interesting. Set active doesn't set active. Okay, well that's a problem. Yeah, that's on a game object, I assume. So what I'm doing today is I've been making notes of some of the more the least smooth aspects of watching people play the game, and trying to fix them a little bit. And the one that stuck out to me the most is this tutorial right here, because there's just so many ways to think you're doing it right and not doing it right. And this is definitely not just you, Matsi. Pretty much everyone I've watched play this tutorial struggles with it in a way that's not the good kind, you know. Like they're just fiddling with it and they kind of get through it, and then, you know, and that's not what I'm hoping for. And the reason is the way this thing works is this little, there's a script running right now. It's this pose matcher, and it's showing you on the right, you know, like this like authored pose that I've given it, that I said I want each joint to be at the following angles. Here they are. And then it's just looking at the gymnast and comparing on a joint by joint basis, what are the angles, and the ones in red are way off and the ones in green are close. Oh yeah, good point on the end of level thing. I do want to rearrange those. I've gotten that feedback from a couple people. I think if I'll probably do it where if you completed the level, next level is at the top and is selected, and then retry this level is next, and then the video editor and exit would be down below. Right now, like, video editor is kind of sandwiched in between. It doesn't really make sense. And then if you haven't completed, or I guess you will always have completed the level in that case, so it would default to next level, and it would default to back to map in the case where you've completed a level and it's the last level in the sequence. So that's a good point. Yeah. So that's the results menu order plus defaults. Okay. Yeah, so this one, you know, what it's doing here is it's just looking at each joint and saying, like, do they match or not, right? So if I point the legs kind of where it wants, they all turn green, right? The problem is it's looking at every joint, and for some of those joints, like what I'm trying to teach you here, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, right now with the reason the pose match says 65% is because I'm pressing right on the leg stick, but I'm pressing down on the arm stick, which is a natural thing you do because you go like this and it doesn't grab the legs, so you like push the arms down and grab it, and then that looks like a match, but it's not matching. So I have a few options here. Yeah, it was. I really felt like I broke you there a few times, Matsu, when you were playing the game with the, which was pretty awesome. I was certainly enjoying it, and I think that made it fun to watch, even if it wasn't what your viewers were expecting. Yeah, so here what happens is you're pressing down on the stick, it looks right, then you have to like fiddle around with the sticks to make it line up. And the same thing happens here. This one's even worse, because if you just do the things it says on top in order, like down, up, R, it kind of works. But you can get it kind of where like it doesn't want to grab, or you can be grabbing like this, and it won't take that, or you can be grabbing like, yeah, I guess the tuck actually works a little better. But like here, if I point my legs down a little bit, it still doesn't work. So I think these ones, like I could fiddle with the thresholds if I wanted to, but the thresholds are tuned to work pretty well in the other cases where I use this same little pose matching thing. So I think what I want is an override here, where here what I want to say is like, are you doing a pike at all? And just call it if you're doing a pike, which means that you're held like that and you're grabbing the legs. So I think I can just add that as an option, because I'm pretty sure I've already got code to detect if you're piking or tucking. And that code should be more reliable than this pose matching stuff. And that should fix this tutorial, because those are the ones that are janky. So I think that's what we want to do. So if I go here and I go to press and relax, yeah. And the triggers, I have a internal debate on the triggers, because I'm not really explicitly teaching all that. Some of that I'm kind of letting you discover. There's already so many tutorials in the game, so if I was going to change something, I would want to change one of the tutorials rather than add another one. So I have to think about that. I'm not sure. I'm a little scared to make changes that are bigger. So I have these are the different poses that pose matcher thing can show you. Yeah, Matsi, I was saying at the beginning of the stream, right before you dropped by, that, actually the thing you're mentioning right now, sometimes tutorials seem to come after the level, is a good point as well. I was trying to find a balance where I knew there was going to be a lot of tutorials in this game, and I did not want it to be just like tutorial, because that would just be a slog. And so I was trying to make it tutorial, a level or two, tutorial, a level or two. But then it becomes tricky because of the levels you put there in between them. I was being a little loose about that. So some of the levels in between them are not really underscoring the thing in the tutorial that came before them. And so there's some room for improvement there. Now, I don't want to change the levels too much, but I do think I'm going to rearrange one or two after watching a lot of people play, especially the one I teach you to swing with your arms. The level after that is a bad level to put after that, because the arms, it's not, if you just do exactly what the last tutorial showed you, it makes it kind of harder and you don't really learn a lot. So these are all the poses here. So I think what I can do is I'm just going to add some data to these poses. Because these poses, this is like a little data object, and all it is just like, what's the joint and what angle should it be at? But then I can add, yeah, I can see that, Matsi, where there's certainly people that are just like, nope, and leaving the game out of frustration. And to be honest, that's gonna happen no matter what. Like, just with the way the controls are in this game, like, it's just not gonna click for some people. I'm trying to do my best with the tutorials to guide across that threshold as many people as possible, but there's always room for improvement, for sure. So I think what I can do is just do this, like, actually, do I have like a thing where I'm detecting like different poses? I feel like, not poses, but like tuck versus pike versus whatever. I feel like I have that somewhere. Where is that? I have a thing like dot tuck. Body position. Here we go. Body position. This is what I want. It's challenging to make a super hard game that hardcore gamers love, but also is accessible. Yeah, exactly. Assumed hardcore gamers will get bored with remedial lessons. Yeah, you know, I was trying to, you know, strike the right balance there. In general, you know, I'm happy that although it's a hard game, I put more effort in offering tutorials than a lot of these hard games do, because a lot of them are just like, they're hard, that's the point, nah, you know. And I've tried to be like, yeah, it's hard, but you could learn it. Let's see, do we have free, straight, pike, tuck, and then I guess, yeah, so what we need is we need a bool called is body position, which can default to false. And then, what is this, gymnast dot body position? Yeah. Target body position. Okay, so then, let me check if, OBS says we have not dropped frames. So hopefully the stream is okay. But I'll keep an eye on it. Okay. Alright, so we added this thing, so now what I can do... Yeah, I like it. And see, Matsi, I'm trying to make the, you know, the live coding viewing experience a little more exciting and interesting. Let's see. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to... Come on, compile. Thank you. Projects compile slower and slower. So now we can go to these poses and we can go to pike here and we can say this is a body position and it is the pike position. And the tuck one, we can say this is a body position and it's the tuck position. And maybe, I think those are the only two. Oh no, I didn't notice you were using Rider. Do you like it? I've been tempted to try it, but the looming cost of paying for it has been keeping me... Trying to keep me... I've been convincing myself to be satisfied with VS Code. Let's see. What's up, pike? Yeah, okay, so we just want pike to know it's a pike and tuck to know it's a tuck. Because then what we can do... We should be able to go here now to pose matcher. And one thing we gotta do is we gotta check here, get body position. Yeah, this should be pretty reliable. Okay, so what we're going to do is go here, and when it's trying to match a pose, which is here, we're still going to use... Oh, you're used to the JetBrains stuff, yeah, because they have other IDEs. That makes sense. I've heard people really like it, and I'm sure that I would like it too. I don't want to know how much I'll like it, because then I'll have to pay for it. I don't really like Visual Studio all that much, although VS Code, the one I'm using here, is okay. It's lighter weight. My main complaint with Visual Studio is that it's very slow. It takes forever to load and just like, you know, and it bogs down. Whereas Visual Studio Code so far for me has been relatively light. Although I'm adding these stupid things like typing effects, so maybe I'm the one bogging it down. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. So right here, yeah, we loop through here and we calculate the error, which is right here. And we do some percent matching and junk. So I think right here we can override it if this is a specific pose, or what did I call it? Is a specific body position. So then this would be like if, what is it? What do we have? What's our pose called? Mpose is body position. And we can say gymnast.body position BP equals, I assume we have a reference to the gymnast here. Where is it? What's it called? mliveref is actually a gymnast joints script. Interesting. Do we actually have a reference to the straight up gymnast in here? Maybe not. That seems sort of dumb. Where are we getting this? Right here. Yeah. Okay. We'll do this to Matsi. This is where you're gonna start to see some of the gross stuff. Pretty sure I have this gymnast.main, so we can just grab the gymnast. So I guess we can be careful. We'll say this equals gymnast.body pose body position dot free, and then we say gymnast active gymnast equals gymnast.main. This is kind of a singleton E thing, where this is a static accessor where we can just be like, hey, where's the current gymnast in the game? This is the kind of code that works great until you decide to make the game have more than one gymnast, and then you have some code that's suddenly stupid because it's just going and grabbing one gymnast when there might be more than one. So later, if I had some like co-op mode or something, I could break some of this stuff. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So then what we can do is be like, if the active gymnast is non-null, then we can say BP is actually the active gymnast.get body position. And then we can say if BP equals mpose.target body position, consider this a match, and we'll just set %match to 1.0. And that should take over for the rest of this code down here, where if %match is 1.0, we like fill up the timer and we send off the code flow that happens in the case of matching the pose. Okay, so that should do it. And we've tagged these two with the correct data. Oh, Monty, I missed your thing about ReSharper. That's like a refactoring assistant kind of thing, right? Visual Studio has some minor ones like that. Like you can rename a variable and it'll go find out all the places you should rename it. Or sometimes if you like implement an interface, it will like automatically bring in all the methods that that interface expects or whatever. But it's not amazing. Okay, so let's go test this. Oh, that one, the ReSharper is actually available in Visual Studio as well. I didn't realize that. Okay, we're just going to go play this from the editor. So this is tutorial, what is it called? Tutorial tuck pike. Okay. So you can grab your legs mid-air, spin faster. So now, right, this still won't work. But if I grab my legs at all, yeah, I'm holding the pose wrong there. And it was still working. So that's what we're looking for. Oh, Afonso CSC, thank you very much for the follow. I assume you are one of the raiders who came from Matsi's channel, but thank you very much. Stick around for more, hopefully exciting live coding content. Okay, so now here, if I do this, see, and I get the legs pointed where it's like not totally matching, it still works. It didn't show 100% though, did it? Let's retry this. Did it show 100% or did it still show like weird numbers? Oh, it showed 100%. Yeah, cool. I mean, the colors on the gymnast kind of change a little bit. They don't all turn green, but this is like infinitely more. This is what I'm trying to teach you. Like, grab your legs like this is the pike. You know, I don't really care about the minutia of exactly do you have the controls in the exact right angle. This can happen, but you flail around a little bit. You grab your knees. So that's pretty good. All right. Okay, that's gonna go so much better. And I did that in a way that should not have screwed up the other levels that use the pose matching system, because I didn't test any of the thresholds and stuff. This is the thing, you gotta be careful when stuff is a live product now, right? I don't want to break more things than I'm fixing. Let's see, where's another example of this? So this one, let's just play this and test it. Use L to control your shoulder / arm, yeah. Push to match the pose below, right? So this is still, yeah, okay. 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 You know, some of this stuff like that, it's tricky too, because like I watch people play, and I get anxious, like, oh come on, just like, get through it, because I want them to get through it. I have to fight the urge to like go back and like make the tutorial faster or simpler or something, because that's actually probably not a good idea. You know, these tutorials are there for a reason. They're trying to teach you some of the tricky aspects of the controls, you know. Alright, so that one's in good shape. Let's check the other one real quick. Yeah, this is the biggest offender. And then the other thing is probably the level order. I'm sure I've been making very anxious. No, I mean, obviously I want, you know, I want the game to work well for people. And so anytime people struggle with it, obviously that, you know, it's not ideal. But I've been doing this long enough to know, especially with a game like this, that, you know, even if I make the perfect tutorial, there are some people that are just like, not to say this is you, Matsi, I'm just saying, you know, you're maybe an example of farther on the spectrum over one way versus the other. You know, that are just, that like, it's not going to click, you know. And this game type, that should be expected, you know. The other thing, you know, is like, and that's true actually for all games, right? Like, not everyone is going to enjoy every type of game. Some of that gets weeded out in the marketing, right? So they don't ever show up to a game they know they're not going to enjoy, but, you know. I'm sure I was somewhere on that spectrum of not clicking. Yeah, well, you know, the other thing about this particular game is that it is really actually a simulation, you know? It's a simulation at heart, and so it's not heavily abstracted, right? So it's not like, the problem with this one too is that there's lots of games with swinging on things. And in almost all those games, what do? When you get all the way to one end, you press the other direction, and then you swing that direction. And then when you get to that end, you press the other direction and swing that direction. In this game, if you do that, you lose momentum. You have to wait. You have to wait until you cross center and do what would physically actually work, because the only reason you're even spinning around the bar is because the physics is causing that to happen as a result of the forces and stuff. You know, it's not because I coded it to give you momentum if you do X, Y, or Z, right? The momentum is a natural outcome of the physics, which just means that like half of this game is kind of running counter to the way every other video game has represented swinging and jumping off of things you swing on. So, you know, half of these tutorials are trying to undo that muscle memory. But, you know, what are you gonna do? All right. But I think we just made a quality improvement there. And then here's the other change I was considering, Matsi. So if you look at this in order, right? We teach you how to let go. We give you a couple levels here where you can do them just by using letting go. This one, you could argue, if you start flailing around with the controls, you get sidetracked and actually screw it up. Like this level, like the way this level is designed is that if you just kind of drop, you should fall like this, and then you will just catch onto this bar. And if you just like sit here and just do the only thing the game's taught you, you come over here and then you sort of like wait for the right timing and drop. Of course, you know, most people are gonna mess around with the controls, and so they'll do like this, and then they end up facing this way, which means they may or may not catch onto that bar, you know, or they just like do weird stuff, you know, and like that or whatever, and then like this mat is like in the way, and you know, that kind of stuff. This one is, I'm really happy with that part though. That gets a good reaction from people. I think it puts them in a good frame of mind actually, because it sort of says like, look, this game's not that serious. Like, it's okay. You're gonna biff it a lot. Anyway, so I'm okay with those first three. Then we teach you how to slow time, and there's one level to kind of reinforce that, because this level's kind of hard if you don't slow time. Then I have my two posing ones. These are doing okay. And then you have your first like kind of just relaxing level, but now that you know how to like pose things, you can mess around here. Some people probably spend more time on this level than they should, but I don't mind that too much. That's their decision, you know. Then we teach you how to swing with your legs, which I think is the right first one. Yeah, Matsu, you were talking about getting to the arena? Or that there was something once you were in it? Oh, interesting. You were using the controller to navigate the menus? Okay. There's probably a bug with the way this is. I'm auto-scrolling this thing based on what's selected. When it gets to the bottom, it's, you know, it goes to this one. Okay. I feel like I have seen that happen once before, but I haven't been able to cleanly reproduce it, so I'll have to keep trying. So anyway, we teach you how to swing here. I'm happy with the swing tutorial. This is the most important one in the game. Then I have 3 levels in a row here, which is probably one too many. And then the problem is, then I teach you how to swing with your arms instead of your legs, which is kind of worth teaching you. But then this level is a dumb level to put after that one. So I'm thinking about moving, like maybe putting this one after this one, just swapping the position of these two. It happened every time for you. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, let's see. Wonder, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to figure out. If you happen to have a moment and you can give me steps that reproduce it, I would be very much in your debt. More so than I already am. So I think I gotta switch this up a little bit. Like, I think maybe I should just swap these two. So we teach you how to swing, you have this one, you get to do that again. These levels go well when I watch people play them generally. Then we could teach you this. Then we have like a level that just, and this level is actually quite a bit harder than I thought it was after watching people play it. But you know, the difficulty of the levels is kind of a function of how many leaps you have to do. And this one is a, you know, at the very least 2 leap level, but realistically it's more like a 4 or 5 leap level because people aren't, you know, that skilled at knowing when to let go to get the leap that they're looking for. So this one is kind of a pause moment here. This one doesn't have to be, but people really want to get the chalk by now, seems. Oh dang, just repro'd. Matsu, you're all over it. Let's hear it. Last level. Beat it. You got it. This I can do. Watch, I'm gonna screw this up. Okay. Then go to level select. Okay. Didn't happen here. That's okay. Okay. It showed it a couple of, oh yeah, 'cause you know what? Oh, that's interesting. So the way this thing is supposed to work, oh, you know what? Hang on. I don't think I have proper, let's try it like this. Let's try it like this. Okay. Let's try this again. It could be something that I changed. I am on Discord. Username is just Walliver. Okay, let's look at this though, because Yeah, it tries. I believe the way it works is when we come back to this level, it tries to select the last, like the first level you haven't completed. Otherwise, it like defaults to the bottom one. It's the mouse. Okay, yes. It's fighting with the mouse. Yeah, that's possible. Like the way I have the mouse stuff working is if you click and start using the mouse, the game switches to, oh, I guess you want to like use the mouse for input. And so now, for example, it auto highlights, but it won't scroll. You have to like manually scroll, which by the way, I changed the scroll sensitivity, so that's quite a bit better now. And then if you start pressing buttons on the controller, it ignores the mouse. See now how the mouse won't select anything? Until you click the mouse again, and then now it's like, oh, you want the mouse. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, I'm trying it right now. I'm wondering, I'm sure hovering in the center of the screen, okay. Okay, let's try. Ooh, question. Are you clicking in the level result screen to come back to here? Haven't touched the mouse. Okay. I hover over the center and then use the D-pad to go down and it jumps back up. Okay, let me try that. Okay. Yes, okay. There might be a thing here because when we're switching scenes, it may not be remembering that whether or not we're in mouse or not mode. Okay, so right here. Gotcha. And so then you go over like this and you're like level select. Okay, yeah, look, we're in mouse mode right now. And they're fighting each other. Okay. Okay. Okay, now why? Oh. Yeah. So, okay. Alright. What's the scenario we're in right here? We shouldn't be able to get into this scenario. I have a sinking suspicion it's because... Where am I doing this? MatiQI, thanks, man. Yes, okay. So, I forget where I am tracking this. Is it any of these? I don't think it's any of these. This would be a good one to squash too, because input stuff like this is just frustrating. It makes the game feel less professional. This is rewired. This is not it. Where do I do that stuff? Now I gotta remember my own code. Let's see. Let's see. What have we got here? Input field, no. 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 I don't think it's here, is it? This would be a dumb place to put it. Yeah. Game cursor. Game cursor. Okay, so I think this is going to be the... Yeah, so I think game cursor has a static reference to the current cursor, and when awake is called, what we do... So in theory what happens here is you're in the game scene. In the game scene, we know you're not using the mouse. And so mouse enabled should be false. Then you switch scenes. What's supposed to happen here is that the cursor in the menu scene wakes up and it's like, oh, there already is a cursor, which would be the one from the previous scene. And it asks it, it's like, yo, is the mouse enabled? What's going on with the mouse? And then sets itself to be current. Now the problem is that this probably actually isn't happening. Well, current doesn't get set to null, but these might be weird values. This is because I'm... This is basically because I didn't really plan ahead as to that... Okay, what this means is... Mouse enabled should be static. Right? Mouse enabled should be static. Input module reference, how does that work? Where does this, what happens with this? Right, we're setting these different allow mouse input things, but this is a per scene thing. Yeah, this is a per scene thing. So what we gotta do though is we gotta do in awake or even in, what is it? I always forget, is it on enabled or on enable? I can never remember. Funny part about game dev is that the use of static is much more oh yeah, it's probably a huge no-no in it probably should be a huge no-no over here in game dev land as well, Motzi, but you know, this is solo game dev land, so I don't have to answer to some technical director. Technical director is just 7% of my brain. And that guy says, yeah, as long as it works. Which is true in a lot of cases. In a lot of cases, I also try to be more diligent about these things, but it's on a spectrum, you know. It depends on the feature and how complex it is, and you know, balancing the amount of upkeep versus refactoring, etc. You know, which is always a hard decision to make. Unity on enable. Is this the right? Yeah, it's just on enable. Okay. On enable, we should do this too. So we don't want to do it this way. This is now static, so everyone gets the mouse enabled value. What we do want to do though, in fact, do we even need then the current thing? Because I think that might have been my dumb way of passing this crap back and forth. Let's see. Actually, maybe lots of people use this. Everyone's using it, but they're all using it just to find out if the mouse is enabled or not, or if the thing is invisible or not. Okay. Interesting. Okay, fine. So I'm not going to freak out about that too much. I probably could rewrite this better. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to leave the current crap. And then, yeah, you can get out mouse enabled this way. That's fine. We do need to do this in awake, and then we also need to do it. Let's do this. Let's do like set input. What is it called? Private void blah. We're gonna rename this in a second. Input module. Set input module. Mouse status. I'm gonna be nice and verbose here. So on enable, we're gonna want to do that, and in awake, we're gonna want to do that. Current is fine. That's fine. Finding the canvas is fine. So then this is gonna be this. Okay. So now I think we're not gonna have a weird sequencing issue with this. Yeah, and really looking at this, like, I probably should just have, probably don't need this at all. I could just have a static getter on mouse enabled. And I could do the same thing for invisible. But that's more code changes, and I want to kind of keep the code changes to a minimum. All right, we're going to see if this fixes the issue. First by seeing if it compiles. And then I think we're going to swap the order of those levels slightly. Now the other thing though, let me think about this a second though, because the other thing that was weird, where does this get set? Because even though it was fighting, once you press like down on the D-pad, it should have decided we're in controller mode. So we set it here. Something pressed. Input player, get any button down. If something is pressed, we look to see. Yeah, we look at, okay. Also applies to axes. Okay. But anyway, so this is how we're doing this. We're like, oh, did you press anything on the controller? If so, get the last active controller. Is it the keyboard? Or I mean, is it a joystick? If it's the joystick, turn off the mouse. If it's not, then turn it back on. And if the mouse is disabled, this is interesting. Why am I turning this back on here? That should be, maybe that's the problem. Because this should be how you turn it back on. If mouse is off and you click, turn the mouse back on. Maybe we don't want this. Maybe we don't want this. This is a little scary, right? Because this is global code, you know, like it affects the entire game. Let's try this. Let's see if this makes a difference. Because I have a feeling what we were doing is we were constantly turning the mouse off and then turning it back on, maybe? Okay. We're going to try that. And now let's go back here. Okay. Right. Okay. I don't necessarily mean the code is like in global namespace or something that anyone can call anywhere, but it's like, you know, code that is active throughout the game. All right, so we're gonna let's exit out. I want to have a proper save loaded just in case that has an effect on it. And when I go straight into the game from play mode, I'm not really loading a true save. So here we are. Okay, now right now it's fine. Mouse is totally disabled. If I click, now the mouse is enabled. But if I navigate, mouse disables, right? So overall it's working how it should. Now we go in here. We play a level. Okay. We, with the controller, choose level select. And now we'd like, okay, no hover. That's good. Controller is still active. That's good. Okay, that was how we reproed it last time, so that's a start. Now let's try, let's try going in with the mouse. So here we are with the mouse. We're going into a level via click. So we're in mouse mode right now. Now, as soon as I start playing the game here, well, actually, let me play it with keyboard, which is a terrible idea. I'm probably going to totally fail at it. Oh no! Oh, try that again. Okay. Okay. Now, we should still be in, like, mouse mode, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're in mouse mode. Let's click. We should be in mouse mode still. We are. Okay. We can scroll wheel. That all works. Now, if I press down on the D-pad. Okay, here's the problem. Look. I'm pressing down on the D-pad. And if that's not... Okay. Okay, so in this state, we want to see what's going on here. Is the problem that we're not getting into this code? Okay, so here we are. I press down on the D-pad. Oh, no, we made it into the code. Okay, so what's going on here? We got the last controller. It is the joystick. We're disabling the mouse. Okay. Okay. We're not clicking, so it shouldn't be... Okay. Oh, what? And now it's happy? Hang on. Oh, you know what? Look at this. Down on the D-pad is not triggering this code. Watch this, watch this. Here I am, right? I'm gonna press down on the D-pad. No breakpoint. I'm gonna press up on the D-pad. Breakpoint. So why is down not... I bet you it's because... I don't have any game actions mapped to down on the D-pad. Okay, so that code change I just made was not the problem. But the code is maybe... I'll probably leave it because I like it slightly better than the way I did it before. But I bet, here's the thing. If I go look at this... okay, you can see this, okay. You sound like every dev ever trying to solve a problem. So look at this. If we go to actions, right? Now, let's go to Joystick Maps. D-pad down doesn't exist in the default main game controls because it's not mapped to anything. It's not even mapped to anything. It is mapped to something in the editor, and it's mapped to something for UI navigation. So the problem is likely, but is D-pad up on something here? It is, isn't it? No, D-pad right is. See, why would up? I'm actually not sure why up would trigger this and down would not. Let's go look at this function. Are there any... Gets the button just pressed state of all actions. And basically returns true if any of them were true. Okay. But... I mean, we have a UI... action. Okay, Matsi, hey, have a good night. Thanks for dropping by. No problem, man. Really appreciate you playing my game and giving me a little extra motivation to fix some of these issues even more than I had planned otherwise. So that's great. Have a good night. Okay, so why would this only fire? Is it because up and down are part of an axis? And D-pad up is the positive of the axis, and D-pad down is the negative of the axis. That makes sense. Is there a... Look at this. Get any button down. We can also get any negative button down. So what we need to do the OR of these. Thanks again. Wonderful night. Loved playing it. Laughed way harder than I expected. Well, that's something, right? Let's do this. Bool something negative pressed. This is the problem. We found it. Get any negative button down. And then this just needs to be an OR. Okay. Okay. That's gonna fix it. Alright. Cool. That was an annoying little bug. And all we needed was proper repro steps. That's one of the most important things you need to fix something, is you gotta be able to reproduce it. You know, the classic, it works on my machine, right? Works on my machine because I didn't do the thing you did. There's always a reason. Sometimes they're more obscure than others, but that was good. That's a good fix. Okay, while I'm kind of on the topic of this flow, let's go look at the level results menu and change the order of the junk in it. Which should be easy because we're already here on the game scene. We just need to close this. Close this. Okay. So we're going to go to canvas. Turn off the pause menu. Go to level complete. Boom. And then here we have these in an order here. Here, yeah. We have retry as the top thing. But we want to say, actually, we're going to put next up at the top. Oh, okay, fine. You want me to do that in the prefab? Fine, whatever. We're going to put next up at the top. So it's going to go next, retry. Then it does or doesn't show edit, depending on the flow, if it came from the editor. Then view replay. Then go back to the map, then quit. Now go back to the map. Only shows up. Does it only show up when you've completed it? I think it does. Let's double check this. Now, are these explicit navigation? No. Let me double check. I'm probably right. I'm probably setting the navigation in code here. Yes, I am. Okay, but it does it based on the order they're in, I think. Yeah. And it only does it if they're... Does it only do it if they're active or something? Yeah, we make a list of the active buttons. Okay. Okay, so this should be pretty safe to reorder. So now the question is, does map... I think map only shows up when you've completed it, so we could put it like this. I think. Okay. And we need to turn off the level complete menu. Okay. Alright. Let's go test this. Oh, Childish Giant. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for dropping by the stream. I am working on some updates for the first patch to the game. Some of the things I've been noticing that I need to fix. Fixing some tutorials, fixing some menu navigation bugs, stuff like that. Currently, gonna change the order of the options that appear when you complete a level. So here we are, we're in a level. Okay, let's check pause. Resume, reset, retry, replays, blah, 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 that's fine. I also added in the top right corner here the target time and target score to get the medals for a given level, because there was no way to see that without making it to the level complete screen. So now if you just pause, you can see the requirements. But that was a nice little change. All right, here we go. So we're gonna... No, that's not how you beat this level. We're gonna beat this level. Okay, now we come here. It says next. And then it says play again, replay, level select. That's the correct order. And then now what we need to do, let's go to level select. Let's play the last level. There we go. And it should say back to map as the top item. So always so that one's going to be the consistent location of the do the next thing in the video game. Back to map. There we go. Or we can play it again. Replay editor. I was like, okay. And then you hit back to map, and you come back here, and you see that you've got new junk to go play. Okay, cool. I like that. Now I wanted to double check. I've seen a lot of people, when they finish a level, the selection is defaulting to the replay editor little thumbnail. Although that may have been because the cursor was still around, which I probably fixed today. Because I don't think... Let's go look at this. Level complete. Does this thing have persistent selection set? It does. We should probably turn that off. But I bet I'm setting the selection here. I feel like I would be doing that. Do we actually set this selection? Maybe not. Not touched Unity while, so it's cool seeing the dark theme. Yeah, it's kind of a surprise when you see it. This is 2019.4.8, which technically 0.9 is out, but I don't really want to update for this small sort of patch or dot update I'm doing right now, because I want to minimize the number of changes I'm making to the game. Let's see. Now we could do a thing where no, we kind of want to make sure we're just selecting the, oh, it's right here. Start selected object equals next or map. Cool. That's pretty much what we want. You could say if you complete the level but you haven't got all the medals, then maybe you'd want to default to play again. But that's hard to say. What would someone want, you know? Actually, you know what? Because of that, let's leave persistent selection alone. I think the reason that selection was happening was because of my cursor bug. I've had an issue with the cursor overriding controller inputs on level select. Yeah. Yes. I literally just fixed that. Was able to work out the cause of the problem. Basically what it is that the game would look for if you press buttons on the controller, and it would realize you're in controller mode, and then it would ignore the mouse. But it turned out there were a few buttons that if you press them were not triggering that logic, and I fixed that. So that should be fixed. Specifically pressing down on the D-pad and probably down on the left stick was not making it ignore the mouse like it was supposed to. So that should be improved. Okay, so we did that. We reordered those. Let's reorder the levels slightly. So this is going to be Cali, what is it? Cali, level set Cali 1. So if we look at this, I want to make a minor change, which is that the swing arms tutorial is going to come, we're going to move this to after that. Like that. So that after a swing tutorial, you have a level where building up swing is kind of the thing to do. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to make even more changes to the levels and stuff. I think this is... Let's do a minor change, see how things go, you know? Alright, so we did that. Let me go look at my to-do list. What else? Fix the pose tutorial. We did that. That was the big one. Prompts for that. We need to look at this. And then these are other minor things I wanted to look at. Okay, so we're going to look at the prompts. Right, okay. Well, something is a little weird with the keyboard prompts for the pose tutorial. So let's look at that. So let's open it up. And this now I should be able to scroll much faster. Yeah, that's nice. Tutorial tuck and pike. Okay. Play. Okay. Grab your legs, maneuver, spin faster. Try a pike position. L and D. That's right. L is legs. D is these. And you have to kind of wiggle a little bit and get it to grab, but then it works. Now this. Why is it showing W? Here's the problem. Because this is right. But this should actually be S. Should be S, I, and U. Yeah. Here it says release JL, which is this, yeah, and hold W. So that one's backwards too. Okay. So we gotta figure out why this is showing the wrong prompt. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Not that I really want people playing with the keyboard, but I want it to at least work. Okay. So also I realized after the game that you're the dev of Jellycar, which I remember playing on my iPod Touch. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So I used to work, I made a bunch of freeware games in college and after college when I was living in Japan and working in a TV job, or well, teaching English for a while and then a TV job. And then I got a job at Disney and ended up working in games, and so my ability to make freeware games kind of slowed down. And Jellycar happened kind of at a weird transition point in there. So I was actually at Disney when I made Jellycar, and it became a Disney game, which is really cool. Yeah, so I made the original Jellycar, then a different company made Jellycar 2 with my input. Then I got to start a mobile team inside Disney, and we made Jellycar 3 as our first game. And then our game after that was Where's My Water, which was by far our most popular mobile game we made. Yeah, that's actually probably the game I'm most well known for. Somewhere back in there's also a game called Just Gymnast, which is very similar to this one that I made like 12 years ago. So Pro Gymnast is really like a sequel or a reboot or a remaster or whatever you want to call it of Gymnast, which was a freeware game back in the day. It had the same control scheme basically. Physics weren't quite the same, controls weren't quite the same, but the basic idea was there. Okay, so we need to figure out, so we want to go to the input glyph helper. We need to find out why we are getting, I think it's happening in here, is where this happens. So we're gonna have to, let me do this. This will be faster. I'm going to go over here, look at my localization doc, because that's where the actual text for these prompts is coming from. Did you work with Panda 3D then? Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, I know Toontown and Panda 3D had some relationship, right? I worked, at first I worked at a company called Avalanche, which was not Avalanche Software who make Just Cause, but Avalanche Software who was part of Disney and made, well, the ones I worked on, which were the Toy Story games. This was in Salt Lake City. So I worked on Toy Story 3. It was a console game as a designer. And then I went back to California and ended up doing a lot in Disney Mobile. So I made lots of mobile games at Disney. As a designer, and then lead designer, and then design director, and eventually like a VP of design, essentially. But most of that was mobile. Okay, so I'm looking at my, you can't see this right now, but I'm looking at my localization document, and I want to look for tutorial, what is it, tutorial, no, not these. Okay, it's somewhere around here. Tutorial Tuck Pike, right? Is that what this whole section is called? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Body posing. Right. So now a tuck. Okay, so yeah. It's got these back ticks, which are these. The specific ones, right? Yeah. This might be the reason. I think this is the problem. Okay. Because when we ask for this, yeah, let's test this. So we should basically just put a breakpoint here. And attach to Unity. Hopefully that's actually working. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell if it is. Then we're going to run this. And the problem is I'm going to hit this breakpoint like a lot on my way to the one I care about, I think. But let's try it. So we go like this. We load a level. We go down here to tuck and pike. Okay. Play it. Okay, are we going to hit this breakpoint here? We are. Okay. So what have we got here? Let's look at this overall string. The string is try a pike position, legs horizontal plus, plus arms horizontal plus. So these are both going to work, I think, because the plus case is working. Yeah, so we're going to skip this one. I'm already pretty sure. Yeah, and here we are working through, and we're figuring out the buttons are going to press, and there they are. And those are the right ones, because those are the positive contribution ones. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Okay. And now, what are we doing? Right, so here's a case with a negative case. Arms vertical minus, which should be this first one, right? Arms vertical minus, okay? Our pull contribution here is set to positive. And then we go into here, and we say, oh, it's a minus, so the contribution is actually negative. Ooh, what's going on? Where's our... What happened? We seem to be failing to step through. That's weird. Okay, but I'm pretty confident that the problem is we should be passing in this. And we need to go to this. Oh, we have that. Okay, hang on. I did that backwards. Let's go back up here. Sorry, this. We actually need to pass in this thing that called the poll, which says if it's positive or negative. So now we need to go to this. Okay. And in the case of the keyboard case, yeah. Yeah, I've certainly had my fair share of problems getting VS Code and Unity to consistently attach the debugger. In fact, we might be in a weird state right now. I may need to... Let's see. Oh, no, it was just because it was recompiling. Okay. Okay. So in theory, this is going to fix it, but this fix we're going to need to test a bit more thoroughly because... Oops, dang. All right, here we go. Back into play mode. Okay, so we're going to load a level. Yes, please. We're going to scroll down here. We're going to play through the new one. Not the new one, the one we've just been working on here. Tuck and pike. Here we go. Play. Okay. So this should still be L and D. It is. It generally works. Okay, now we got S, I, and U, which is the right buttons. That's good. And hold S for down. That's the right buttons. Okay. Then you pike again. Then you tuck again. And then you release. Okay. So that tutorial was correct. So let's go. See there, why did it select this one? Okay, I need to look at that. It's not a... I don't think it's a mouse thing. Maybe it is a mouse thing. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in mouse mode. Duh. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that then. Let's go back to the editor. Level, load level. Now let's look at arm posing. Use AD to control your shoulder arm. Press D to match pose below. Widen up screen. Now try to match this pose. And it just says A and D, which is kind of misleading because it's W, A, S, and D. Like for this to work, you have to press S and D. For that to work properly, yeah. The arrow on the top left is sort of, yeah, you could definitely argue it's distracting. It is pointing to the bar that's going to be the end of the level. So it's not wrong, but maybe it's dumb that it's appearing during a tutorial. So it's like in that case, really what I would want is I would want a different string if I know you're playing on keyboard. Would probably be the best way to handle that. Yeah. Because that one is... where is that one? Arm posing... like right here. Oh no, that one's okay. It's not that one. It's this. It really shouldn't be arms horizontal. It should be arms horizontal and arms vertical. But if I do that, the controller prompts look stupid because it shows two copies of the left stick. For this to work properly, I would need a different string here for keyboard. I mean, let's try it. So basically I would insert one below here. And I would just call it posing intro underscore keyboard, let's just say. Okay. And just to test this, we're going to go like this. And then we're going to add in here the generic arms vertical. Like that. Okay. And then tutorial arm posing intro. So then we would have to go find do I even have this in code somewhere, or is this, how does this actually happen? Oh, it's probably, yeah, this is the actual level. Oh, it's because it's in the level. See, this sucks. Hey, Walber, how often do you stream? Well, good question. I have, my general streaming is almost every day, like weekday, for usually only like an hour or so, working on my dev projects. It's been a little hit and miss recently because I was finishing up and releasing Pro Gymnast, and so I had like a lot of sort of tasks and stuff. It just made streaming it kind of difficult. As of this week, I'm trying to get back to streaming almost every day, and it's usually in the in California time in the evenings, either late like this, from like 10 to midnight or so, or like roughly before or after dinner, like for an hour or so. So I'm working on this update to Pro Gymnast right now, and then after that, I have a cool new project I want to do, which is a little game I can actually integrate into the Twitch chat. That should be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to start making that, but Pro Gymnast is right in the thick of things right now, so that's what I'm focusing on at the moment. Right, so the way this thing works is that there is a whole sequence here. It's really hard to see without formatting this JSON better. If I go like this and say like JSON formatter or whatever, we go find one, and we paste this in here, and then we say process it, you can see what it looks like here. And the way it actually really works is that right here we have this pose sequence tutorial, and it has some steps. It's like, hey, turn on the screen, then show the message tutorial arm and posing intro, then show the message blah blah blah, then set a pose, you know, and wait till the pose is matched, and then show this, then show that. So what for this to work, I would need some data in here that's like an additional message key if it's the keyboard. Or what I could do is I could always look for the keyboard option. Oh, thanks for the reminder. I have to go like this, and then go like this, and then go like this. Yeah, okay, so probably the simplest way to fix this would be to say, for each message in this type, if we're in keyboard mode, look for this message with keyboard appended. Height above sea level. Hey, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. Okay, that's the simple solution. The other option would be to have an optional keyboard message key in the data. Which is fine too. So how does this thing, this is in the tutorial holder pose sequence. Right. So that's this script. So we could do that. We could go to here and we could say, because we probably have a little, yeah, we have a thing here called tutorial step. We could just do this. We could be like, hey, there could also be a string called MSG keyboard. Okay. And then we need a name for that from the data. Const string s prop MSG keyboard equals MSG keyboard. Okay. So we have that, and then show message would be, we actually do this, we'd be like string, let's do this. Step.message and step.message keyboard. Okay. And then, right? Yeah, cool. So then we would have to, oh, this is the M screen. Okay, so we're going to make this a sub function. So we'll say show message for this step. Okay, so we can keep this kind of clean. So we go down here, private void show message, and it's a, what is this? This is a tutorial step, step. Okay, and then we say string message equals step.msg, and we say if step.msg keyboard is non-null, and step.msg keyboard.length is greater than 2, then the message equals step.msg keyboard, and then we actually show whichever message we decided, MSG. Okay, so that's most of it. Now we got to go down here to where we localize, or not localize, where we serialize this, right here. And so then we have something very similar to this, which is step.msg keyboard is step props contains s prop msg keyboard prop msg keyboard. Thank you. And if so, grab that as a string. Okay, so that's the loading. And yeah, so that's the majority of it. And then do we have to do something here? Yeah, so here we would do if step.msg keyboard is non-null. This is for saving, which, yeah, you know, let's do it right. And step.msg keyboard.length is greater than 2, which is just kind of a dumb heuristic to say, does this actually got a real value in it? Okay, so it's only going to actually save it to the file if it has something legit. Okay. Alright. So that should allow us to override with a keyboard. And so now we should be able to go look at this level. And this is kind of... What was the one? What was the one we were working on? We were working on tutorial arm posing intro. Go find that one. Tutorial arm posing intro right here. And we would add that there's an MSG keyboard with a value of tutorial arm posing intro keyboard. Okay. So now with that set properly, now we can go back here to Unity. Then we have to get our localization data because we added a string. After Unity thinks about things for a while. There we go. Okay. Go to resources, go to our loc thing, hit download. We should see the length go up by 1 from 662 to 663. So there we go. We got our new string. Okay. So now let's load this level. Tutorial Tuck and Pike play. Okay. Okay. No, it's not this one. Duh. It's actually arm posing. This one. Here we go. See, use ADWS to control your arm. Press D to manage the pose below. That's good. And then, for example, this next one here, I haven't fixed yet. So it's still just going to say AD when it should say ADWS. Which is dumb, I know. I should say WASD, but that's even more of a conundrum. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, so for this to work then, we're going to need to make copies of these that have this extra junk in them. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to go grab all this. We're going to copy it down one row. And then we need to add in a space and arms vertical right after where we see arms horizontal for each one of these. Like that. And like that. Localization is a lot of extra work, but it's been really cool to see players playing the game who in different languages, and so I really feel like it was worth it to do, because otherwise I think a lot of those players wouldn't have chosen to play the game. Maybe they would have, you know, maybe they would just suffer through with English, I don't know. But they might have seen the gotten into the game and then seen the tutorials and been like, ugh. Touching the localization dangerous. Yeah, I know, right? These changes should be on the safe side, but yes. So then what we do is this one, we need a dupe of this. So we're going to insert one below, and we're going to grab this whole thing and make a scary copy of it like that. And then this one gets a underscore keyboard variation. And same thing needs to happen here. We need to add, not that, we need to add this to these, like that. And that. I know enough about some of these languages to kind of know if I'm screwing things up, but not all of them. Okay, these ones where it's coming at the end are kind of nice. Okay, so right there. But, you know, the only part I'm modifying here is the button prompt that gets sort of inserted into the string. Okay, there. Okay, quickly look at this. Now, there's going to be more of these, but let's get this one tutorial fully doing this and then see how it looks. So now we can go back here. Actually, we can go back here and go to second match. This one gets a comma MSG keyboard, which has a value of this. Save. Okay, now what we should probably do is we should play through this level and see how many other prompts need this fix. Alright, so here we go. Level data load level. Tutorial arm posing play. Okay, AD NWS to control your shoulder arm. Press D. Okay. Controls are relative to the body, not the screen. Now this one should have all the prompts on it now. ADWS. Oh, that's right. We didn't get our localization, so that makes sense. That one will be fixed in a second. Now this one really should have all of them. So, oh, why am I pausing? Oh, I should go through all of them. But this one really should have a dupe as well. Let's do it while we're here. Let's do this. We're gonna do this. Wish I had a better way to solve this problem, but supporting both keyboard and gamepad with prompts is just kind of tedious. Nope, not that one. Relax, this one. Not this, yeah, this one. This one gets that, okay, and then this one gets that, and this one gets that, this one gets that. Let's scroll over. And this one gets it. You get a paste. You get a second prompt. You get a second prompt. So do you. All languages get the gift of a second keyboard prompt. Just like this. Okay. So that one. Okay. Yep, we got this one. Okay. Okay. And then there's probably going to be one for leg posing. Or a couple for leg posing, which is going to be down here. Yep. So we're going to need one for this. Wait, let's go back here. Which ones did I just add? I added two. This one. Tutorial arm posing relax. Let's go find that right here. This is also going to get a MSG keyboard with a value of that. Okay. And then What was the other one we just did? We already did that one. Got that one. Got that one. Or was that it? I feel like I did 2 just now, didn't I? Oh, we've lost our music. It's okay. Let's see. Nobody can see what I'm doing right now because I need to go in this order. There we go. So far we've added 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we go over here. Oh, you know what I can do though? I could go like this. We could bring up pretzel and at least get some music in the background. Really? Ugh. Authorization code. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's re-download our localization. That was loud. Okay. All right. Now let's try this. Okay. Tutorial. Arm posing. Play. ADWS. That's what we want. Yep. D. Now this next one should say ADWS. It does. Thank you. Because you need a combination of those keys in order to produce this pose. Release. Okay. Okay. So that one works now. So now the thing is we're going to need to do this for whoops. We're going to need to do this for leg posing. Because this is going to be wrong. J and L. Okay, so it's an intro. Then L should be okay. So it's just intro. Right? And then it's going to be this next one is going to be wrong. Hold I. I mean, this one works. So maybe we're going to get lucky. And we just need to fix the intro. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. Nice. All right. So that is, we need to go, no. We need to open up leg posing. Okay. And then we need to go find, oops, let's do it this way so everyone can see. We need to go here. We need to go to leg posing intro. We need a copy of this. And we need to grab all this. And we need to paste it like that. And this is intro underscore keyboard. Key, not keyboard, but keyboard. Okay. And this one is we're gonna add. Gonna head off. Good luck with the patch. Thank you, Childless Giant. Thanks for dropping by. We'll be making good progress. Hopefully get this out in the next couple days. Okay, so we need to add legs vertical. To these. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Okay. All right. And so tutorial leg posing intro, which is going to be here it is. Okay, so now there's also MSG keyboard, which is this. Not this, it's tutorial leg posing intro keyboard. Okay. So, download that. Look at that, lucky 666 localization keys now. Okay. So let's test that tutorial again. Okay. I should probably spot check it in a few languages as well, which is time consuming. Okay, tutorial leg posing. Play. Use J, L, and I, and K. There we go. Hold L. Yeah, you got it. Shoulder L to body. Hold I. Okay, cool. Alright, so now the question is, what other tutorials should we look at? Let's look at release real quick. Should be fine. Press space, okay, that's fine. Spin control, this one. Well, the first one is just gonna say press space. Okay. S-I-U. Oh, wait a minute, that's actually correct. Cool. Oh, we're gonna luck out here. This one doesn't actually have like a bunch of wacky prompts. No. Cool. There's a little bit of logic that's weird there. This is because this has this huge hitbox for the mouse. I gotta think about how I fix that. Okay. Any other ones we need to test? We did arm posing, leg posing, we just did spin control. Pretty sure these work right. Because these ones are just using the horizontal input. Yeah, these are fine. Okay. I should make sure that these didn't break with our controllers now. Let's test that. Oh yeah. Yes, my code is a little bit stupid. Oh, man, I'm glad I tested that. Okay, so The problem is, yeah. What problem is that he... not here. Where was this? This. Right now it's preferring to use the keyboard prompt if it exists, which it shouldn't do that. It should prefer the keyboard prompt if it exists and... are we playing with keyboard? So, I forget where I have helpful code to remember if we're playing in keyboard mode or not. I think it's on here somewhere. Get action is keyboard. Get action info. So we could probably do it that way. Get player input controller. Yeah, do we need... maybe we just need a little helper for this. I think we do. I guess... yeah. So we want something like this, but just for letting us know. I can put this somewhere. Input glyph helper, this is... yeah, okay, cool. So, down here, we could just be like public bool. Input is keyboard. And so then what we would do is we would get rid of this. Pretty sure that's what this is. Okay, so we would make sure we have an input player. We would get the last controller, last active controller. If there's more than one joystick, then we get joystick 0. Actually, does that? Right. Oh, that's only if it's null. Okay, cool. So we get the last, right, that's right. So then we say, okay, is keyboard, blah, 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 and then we just return is keyboard. Okay. So here, we should be able to be like, if only if the input actually is keyboard, use that. Okay. Okay. The whole reason I was doing this is because I wanted to avoid those two duplicate input prompts when you're playing with a controller, which is the preferred input method. So I don't want something to help the keyboard support for the game make a worse experience for the controller version of playing the game. Alright, so now let's go test this out. We're gonna go down here, arm posing. Okay, played in, there we go, getting just the L. And now this should switch to keyboard, I think. It does, good. Let me match it with the controller anyway. Cool. Okay, so that one looks good. Now let's test the other ones. A lot of testing. Leg posing. Play. Okay, good. That was the one that would have changed. Okay. Okay, cool. And then we can really quickly also just double check that tuck and pike looks right on keyboard. Alright, L plus D. Yeah, well, actually. Hang on. Retry. Okay. I'm okay with that. That's cool. Cool. Okay. Meow. Cool. Yeah, as long as you're grabbing a tuck here, it's happy. Cool. That's gonna be way better. Now, the question is if... So that's because of the mouse there. Let's just test this again. So if I go like this and I play the level again, put the mouse right in the center of the screen. Okay. 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 Oh. Does it select the... It does. Interesting. Why? Got like two musics playing on top of each other right now. Okay, there it's not. So that's because... that's right. That's because the only place where we actually switch this is in game cursor, and game cursor is turned off. Yeah. Now on enabled should... Right. Yeah, it's because we didn't want all this junk happening. Which is smart. What we could do is say here, if Do that. And then we could find references to our game cursor. Because I think we actually like disable it somewhere. Okay, this is all set in the visibility stuff. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I was pretty sure I was disabling this thing. Oh, it's probably because I'm not. Oh, right here. This dot enabled. Okay. So we're actually going to get rid of this. That's what it was. Get rid of that and then do what I was doing a second ago right there. Okay. Okay. Cool. That should tighten that up a little bit. Now, I still have a couple other fixes. But it's getting late. Okay, we fixed that. Okay, so we just have some small fixes after this that we can do tomorrow. And then I think I have to do a little more testing, but this patch should be pretty good to go. Yeah, so now if I go here, I go like this, I load any level, who cares what it is. Okay, we're playing with the controller. I come to here, we go to the level results screen. Mouse is not active. We click the mouse, turn on the mouse, we play with keyboard. Here the mouse is still active, as we would expect. We click play again, but we play with the gamepad. Cool. Okay, I can leave the mouse strategically placed right here where it would capture the input. And it doesn't. Okay, that's better. Okay. Alright. I think I'm gonna call it for the night. So we did a bunch of stuff though. Let's commit this stuff to Git eventually. There we go. Alright, let's take a look at what we actually did today. Okay, stage all of our changes. So what did we do? We improved tuck and pike tutorial to be less sensitive to specific joint angles. That was a big one. We added keyboard specific prompts to some tutorials. We also fixed keyboard poll contribution for specific action prompts. Fixed issues with game cursor getting confused, RE mouse versus controller input. Rearranged levels in Kali 1. That's pretty much it, right? We also changed the order of menu items in level complete menu. Okay. Okay. All right. Those are all the changes. Commit. Push. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up for the night, and I will be back online probably sometime tomorrow, probably earlier, like before or after dinner for an hour or so, and I'm going to be working on probably just there's a couple minor fixes I still have on my list for this patch, and then just testing it, and hopefully then maybe tomorrow night off stream I can finish up the boring testing and get that pushed ideally. And then hopefully maybe later in the week we can start the new weird Twitch minigame we want to make. So thanks everyone for dropping by, and for anyone who's been playing Pro Gymnast lately, thank you so much for playing it. Been a very exciting release, and yeah, it was a good dev session. Everyone stay safe, be healthy, and we'll see you later. Bye.